you're driving any sort of real traffic, any sort of anything at scale, your offer will eventually just die out, right? It'll stop performing. It's inevitable because eventually you just reach the audience, right? And it stops converting as well. So what you want to always be doing is testing that new offer or trying to get a new offer to, if you have your winner, there's a couple ways of testing. You got your winner, you can split test it to get it to perform better. Once it's performing at a certain level, you want to move on to a second offer, maybe selling the same product, just a repositioned offer of it, right? And start
Yeah.
testing that to get that performing at the same level the current winner is, because what's going to happen is that winner is going to eventually go away and you're going to need something in the backup to be able to put in
Yeah.
place. One thing that people fail to do is they make decisions based on drama, right? Not the data. And when you don't do that, when you do that, you might kill winners. You might have a winning ad campaign, but because you're not basing it on data, you're basing it on your drama and your own opinions based on what's happening. All of a sudden, yeah, I may be paying $80 a buyer for this product, and my other ones I'm paying 60. But I do know that if I looked at the data, I know 90 days that $80 buyer is turning into 250, but that $60 buyer is only turning into 90. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's understanding that so you can make the right decisions, and it takes you longer to get there if your budget's too spaced out. If you don't have a big budget.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Life Outside the Mold podcast. Talking all things entrepreneurship and encouraging people to step out of their own footprints and create a new lifestyle for themselves. Today, I'm sitting down for the first time with a marketing expert and agency owner of Optimized Assets, Nate Kennedy. He's helped hundreds grow their business, brand, and influence through online web presence. And he's really mastered the art of psychology behind conversions. What's going on, Nate? Appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, Cody, I'm stoked, man. I appreciate you offering me the opportunity to join you here today and chat marketing and entrepreneurship, man. Been doing it for years, so excited to hopefully have a good conversation and drop some knowledge for your listeners.
So let's tell me, like, first off, tell me a little bit about yourself. Kind of just your background. I know you started in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, so my background is I got a 4-year degree, wanted to be some physical therapy major, hated science class at 8 a.m. So got into business, figured I'd just own the physical therapy location, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And interesting enough, I felt kind of behind when I got out of college because so many people the most successful people I know today never went and got that degree. But
Hmm.
what's interesting is I have it in business marketing is the degree that I got, or business finance, and then but I'm in marketing. It's kind of wild, right?
Mm.
But what happened is I got out of school, didn't know what I wanted to do. My first job, actually, I did. My first job out of college was a scuba diving instructor. I was really putting that degree to use,
Huh.
and that didn't quite work out because I wanted to make more money, and so that's how I kind of fell into the whole mortgage industry, and it was booming back then in 2002 when I got out of school. So that was good, and went and started my own mortgage company, which was cool. Started getting into the online marketing stuff at about end of 2006 is when I got into the online marketing side, really kind of diving into it and just kind of dipping my toes in, didn't think much about it, was just kind of, just playing around with it. And then my mortgage company actually, 2008, the thing just blew up in regards to not in a good way, right? So I
Mm.
lost everything. We were building homes and wholesaling. We got into the kind of this whole thing with mortgages, building homes, real estate agent. We were flipping homes, doing all kinds of stuff. Got real involved in the process, but
Yeah.
we got stuck, man. Market hit. We got stuck, went bankrupt. And then the online marketing, along with wholesaling and real estate, was kind of like what helped me recover pretty quickly. And so I got going through that process, started doing some cool stuff in the real estate space. Then I started documenting it and creating products and
Hmm.
all that good stuff. And I grew this company and through paid traffic and funnels. And then I sold it, and people started asking me to help them do it for themselves. And that's how my agency started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then did that for many years. 2011 was our first take at an agency. 2013, Optimized Assets was born. And 2020, Optimized Assets, we started kind of changing things up. So worked with a bunch of cool clients. So that was exciting. Had a lot of great clients, and then decided that we no longer wanted clients and we wanted to own all of our own brands. So we started a rebrand, and our company now is Marketing Rebels. where we partner with companies to help them grow, but we do it in more of an equity side. We want to come in and help you get past. If you're stuck in $1 million, we're going to help you get past that $1 million plateau. And we just want to, we want to earn equity by helping you grow. Right. So
Smart.
part of, what we do then is my main company owns a big audience now. So what we did is we went in to own our own brands, and now we've got about a 2 million person audience that we own with an infrastructure of websites and newsletters, and people pay to get in front of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of email stuff, a lot of simplicity in marketing, and that's the quick and dirty for you, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So I want to first dive into the evolving algorithms with these different platforms that you're using. Traffic costs are increasing, competition is at an all-time high. Algorithms are constantly changing by the day. What are you doing to combat that? And has that been like a evolving stress
Yeah, I mean it's
to
an issue, right? It's annoying as it goes. I was actually just joking with someone the other day. We generate between 5 to 7,000 leads a day, depending on what's going on with the algorithm.
yeah,
And it's I was joking. I was like, after the holidays, I'll buy the dip, and we'll
yeah,
generate more, right?
yeah,
So it was for us. What I wanted to do is simplify marketing. A lot of people get into marketing and they complicate the hell out of it, and you've watched it over the years. You see it's like it used to be just an offer, make an offer, have a sales page. Then it was a sales page with 4 or 5 upsells. Then
yeah,
it was all right, here's this big schematic of all the different emails that you need to do and the different retargeting campaigns you got to set up and all these different things you should do based on what page they land on, right? It became this massive process, super
yeah,
complicated. And unfortunately, I did take part in a lot of that because we helped innovate a lot of the funnel stuff early on back in 2011 when we were doing it.
mm-hmm.
But the marketing's got to be easy, right? You just need an audience. When you boil marketing down, the way that we've been able to combat this is we said, all right, let's go build an audience of super passionate people that buy stuff, right? And then
Yeah,
make them an offer to buy that stuff. It doesn't really get any more complicated than that unless we like to make it more complicated. So what I
yeah,
started doing is executing our one-step funnel. And our one-step funnel, the whole goal of that is to acquire leads and then be able to follow up with them via email. So email is not dead, by the way. Service
huh,
announcement. Email is not dead. So what we did is this one-step funnel. We've kind of optimized it over the time here, and it works really, really well for us to generate leads of a specific crowd of people
yeah,
that we know are going to buy the products that we're promoting. And so it can be executed in any different, really passionate crowd of people that you got. And that's how we've been able to, it's a little unique because we're not doing, a lot of people want to do, we've done all the free reports to acquire leads or, the free case study that goes into a
yeah.
video and then they apply for an application. And that stuff still works, right?
The webinars.
But what happens is a lot of people fail to follow up with those leads when they do come in.
Yeah,
And I found that the free report based a lot of times was just thank you, goodbye, right? I got
mm-hmm.
what I want. See you later. So we really started changing how we acquire those leads with the one-step funnel. And then, for us, we stay in touch. Our goal is to build authority, build relationship, and then make the offers at the right time, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for us, it's everybody is trying to niche down and only find buyers and play the game of what you got to do too, right? Is average order value versus you know, how much are you making per order and what's it cost, right? What's your cost per order, right?
Yeah,
When you're bringing in paid traffic and you're trying to make more than you're spending, right?
yeah,
And for us, we're like, you know what? That's fine. You guys can play that game. We're just going to go higher level on you. We're going top level. And we're just going to bring in a wide audience of people, bring them in, and then turn around and filter them out into the different segments of products that they want. But we just know that they do segment into a couple core products and passionate, pieces. So
yeah. So you said you brought in a wide segment of 2 million people. What industry is it? And then why is that any different
So our audience
than
is right now is about 2 million in regards to engaged, right?
yeah,
But the for us, we went top level going, we picked out a demographic. and said, all right, this demographic. So we actually we go after a conservative audience. So American Conservatives is one of our brands that we own. And we bring in, it's a news-based property. We bring in the audience people. We know that they're going to buy health and fitness products. They're going to buy tactical products, survival products. They're going to buy financial products, right? So we've
Got
got a
it.
couple core segments we can put in front of them.
Yeah.
Now, another way of going about it, another example you could go after is pets, right?
Yeah.
People are super passionate. So you can acquire, a big list of, people that have, if you have pet products, go build and use a one-step funnel to grow a big list of pet owners or people passionate about pets, because ultimately they're going to buy products. And if you're the one communicating with them daily, they'll buy them from you. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. So it seems like you've got like the target demographic down. You're talking about making the right offers at the right time. There's a lot of people sending emails and constantly sending offers. What is involving making the right offers at the right time? What does that
So,
involve?
yeah. Oh, great. I mean, that's a phenomenal question because sometimes I brush over that stuff, but we can get into the nitty gritty and the tactical side with that. And what it is when you bring in a big audience of people, they're going to be interested. Granted, they're demographic that buy specific products, right?
Yeah.
So maybe let's use the pet as example, or we'll stick to what our audience is, but getting into the pet side. But our audience, we know that they buy in kind of 4 different segments, right?
Yeah.
So we have content revolving around those segments. So when they click or engage with content on a specific topic, all we do is say, tag them to do this. So we now are building an audience of people so out of that, we bring 2 million in, and then let's say we've got 150,000 that are highly interested in tactical style stuff, right? Because they're clicking on that kind of content and offers that we promote out, and then allows us to segment those people so we know what offers to make to them. So when we go queue up an email, that's an offer. Maybe we got a free gun sight offer that one of our partners is promoting. What we do is we come in and we just say, hey, send to this segment, right?
Yeah.
Pets, another way. You can also, that's why I say that, like I started it out as like email is not dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks it is, but the way people use email is different. So it's just being, adapting with that time and leveraging it properly. So that's what we've been doing.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get an understanding of this. Are you setting us like with this evolving algorithm? Are you setting aside like budgets to test like new formulas and split tests daily, or like new headlines, new just to see like what converts better? Are you testing different things weekly? Are you
I don't nonstop. Well, if we're talking ads, like if you want to, so we do email, we're testing headlines. When we send email, we're testing headlines, subject lines, all that stuff, right?
yeah.
100% every day testing,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But if we're running ads on our ad campaigns, we are 100% testing. And if we are running ads, we're 100% testing different campaigns. We've got our whole structure, right?
Yeah.
That we test. We have top of audience, middle audience, like top of offer, middle offer, bottom offer, right? So we have these 3 different layers of audiences that we manage based on how they engage with the ads and the content that we've got.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. So I think it's I don't know if we want to go too deep into tactical over
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. Okay.
but 100% we are testing consistently. And if you're running any sort of marketing campaigns online, always be testing, because uh, here is what will happen if you do not. And I've seen this a lot with marketers is and I see this a lot with companies. They have a winner and they
They keep it.
ride that thing to death. And then
Hmm.
what happens is it stops converting. And then let's say they're acquiring buyers for $40 a buyer. Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it creeps to 50, and it's 60. And then one day you're looking at it, it's 120. And here's the thing that's happened is they have the same they have the same offer, the same ads running, and they don't ever change anything. So you're constantly testing ads, right? People are always testing ads, and you should always be doing that. But don't forget to test your offer. Don't forget to split test your offer. Don't forget to change it up, because eventually offers go stale.
Hmm.
If you're driving any sort of real traffic, any sort of anything at scale, your offer will eventually just die out, right? It'll stop performing. It's inevitable because eventually you just reach the audience, right? and it stops converting as well. So what you want to always be doing is testing that new offer or trying to get a new offer to, if you have your winner, there's a couple ways of testing. You got your winner, you can split test it to get it to perform better. But once it's performing at a certain level, you want to move on to a second offer, maybe selling the same product, just a repositioned offer of it, right? And start
Yeah.
testing that to get that performing at the same level the current winner is, because what's going to happen is that winner is going to eventually go away and you're going to need something in the backup to be able to put in place. So you could always be doing that and spending a small percentage of your budget testing new offers as well.
Now, should you personally, like, say you're the business owner, should you personally be doing that, or should you have an agency, a good agency doing that for you?
Oh man, that's, I would say if it's your skill, if it is in your skill set, if it's in your zone of genius, 100% do it. If it's not in your zone of genius, hire it out. You're just going to bang your head against the wall, spend a bunch of money on ads, lose a bunch of
Yeah.
money on ads, and you're going to turn around and end up hiring someone anyways. So I would 100% hire the marketer, but what I would do first before I go run ads, here's what most people do is they go run ads and they don't really know their audience. They don't really know who they're offering to or what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So I would personally go out, and this is what we've done in the past, is we test different offers. An offer can be as much as a headline. You get people to engage with the actual offer, because a really, really good offer to the right audience will catch on like wildfire, right?
Mhm.
So, and you'll know by the engagement that you get with it. So you could go create a group of a specific audience, right? A lot of people on Facebook do this. They go create a group and then they post those different offers in there to get
Yeah.
engagement to see what's taking. Now, what you could do is also run some ads to see what headline and content pieces getting, engaged with most, and then go from there. If you've got an email list, that's the fastest way to test new offers, right?
Mhm.
But test the offer first, and don't just go run ads and try and generate a bunch of sales. A lot of people go build this massive funnel. They get all excited about it. They press play on ads, and then the ads are just like, I didn't generate any sales. Why not?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one, you didn't know who you were trying to target. Spend the time on the avatar. It's boring as hell, but it's worth it. Saves you a lot of money. And get that stuff straight, and then test the different angles that you're going to go to market with. And once you test those different angles, you can quickly find how you want to move when you go to scale, right?
So test the angles and then refine your messaging and
Oh yeah.
all this different sorts of thing you can refine and add. W- How does the messaging that you would use to target a cold audience differ from like how you would speak to like a warm audience? Obviously, you're trying to create some awareness or just get someone to raise their hand for like someone who has no clue who you are. But like, how does the way you speak to them differ, if at all?
Yeah, so you got cold audience, right? Where people that just don't know who you are or what you offer, what you do, right? They may not realize they've got the problem, right?
Yeah.
So highly recommend go spend the $100 on this book. I don't think you'll find it any cheaper. This one, put it on the camera.
What is
Break
it?
Your Advertising.
Yeah.
Everybody should own a copy of this.
Yeah.
Every business owner, every marketer, everyone should own a copy of that. And then here, and I'm gonna give you 3 more.
Yeah.
Go buy
Appreciate
this
it.
series. The Wizard of Ads, Secret Formulas, and Magical Worlds, right?
Yeah.
So go buy these books, read them, enjoy them, execute on them, what you learn, right? And inside of Break Your Advertising, he talks about levels, the audiences and levels of awareness, right?
Yeah.
So some people have no awareness if they even got the problem that you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Some people are aware of the problem, but they have no idea that you solve it. Some people, and then on the bottom of it, people know they've got the problem and they know you can solve it. So they're determined whether to buy from you or not, right?
Yeah.
So your level, you're going to top level, maybe they don't even know they have a problem. So your messaging is going to be educating them on the problem, right? And they're like, oh, and you write your ad copy and they read it and they're like, oh man, that's me, right? Speaking
Mhm.
to me. And then, you might have more of on the bottom side of that, they're aware of their problem. They're aware of you. You're talking about more of like how you've helped somebody or how your problem is, uh, you know, you're talking more of your brand based side of that, of it. And, staying in front of that consumer that's in your audience. Cause once they reach that bottom level and you're running ads, that's because they've already been exposed to you and your content and other ads, right? They're in that hot audience.
Yeah.
So they, so you want to you want to put an offer in front of them at that point. You don't want to educate them on the problem. You want to make them an offer to buy.
Okay. So how do you creatively tell someone they have a problem without literally saying you have a problem?
So, oh, yeah, many ways.
Yeah.
So I would say that one thing that is overlooked these days is a good advertorial. So one thing we've done a lot over the years is creating a blog post about a specific topic, right? And that blog post is talking about it. So they're reading it as content and then understanding it.
Mhm.
So any sort of problem that you have, what you can do is three ways to it's fitness, right? You could phrase it as a question: struggling, struggling to lose your belly fat, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
super basic headline. I wouldn't use it,
Yeah.
but in the fitness space, there are a lot of savvy marketers out there. But that to get my point across, it's something along those lines, right? And they're gonna look down. They're gonna see the headline. They're gonna look down and go, "Oh, yeah, okay, boom," and they
Yeah.
click over. And the problem is they got belly fat and they want to solve it, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about that process, but you're not talking about your product, right? And you talk about, hey, here's three ways that you can accomplish and fix that solution. One is this, two is this, three is buy this, right? So, you could talk about the products in that manner as opposed to making it you know, it, instead of making an offer directly to buy your product. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So you are in that first, like, when they have no clue who you are, when you're showing to a cold audience, you are making an offer though,
Yeah,
right
it's
off the
more of a
bat.
soft offer, right?
Okay.
If you got an advertorial that you're running, an advertorial is an offer, but it's educational, right?
Yeah. So is it
So,
like a raise my hand, like
yep.
get this for free for your report, something like that?
Yeah, it could be that along the lines inside of the content, right? And for us, I've always liked the content piece, even a video. A video can
Yeah.
do the same thing. A video of just a topic, a content, a blog article can do it, right? And
Yeah.
if you do it right, it gets shared and promoted, and people, obviously that, which is great. But 100%, I guess the easiest way is give value before asking, right? So you want to fill up, you want to give value to the consumer that educates them on a specific issue or problem that you solve, right? And then from there, they're going to see your brand, and from your brand, they can turn around and purchase if they want.
So almost pay for the awareness before you
Correct.
make the ask. Okay. So have you? I want to talk about inbound versus outbound marketing. Get your opinion on this. Have you found inbound marketing has like, obviously you're an inbound marketing guy, right? So have
Oh
you
yeah,
found
100%.
okay. So have you found inbound has yielded a greater return multiple versus outbound marketing? Obviously, it's going to be more expensive, but chances are your closing percentages are going to be a lot higher because you've already got the prospect to raise their hand or show some sort of interest. Have you found like
Yeah. So
where
for me,
those?
I've just never wanted to dial for dollars.
Yeah,
So I've done that in the past. And inbound, so outbound versus inbound, right? You got inbound marketing, inbound sales, which leads to inbound sales, right? Whereas outbound marketing or outbound sales, like where you're making a phone call trying to generate revenue, is a little bit tougher, right?
it's a wide
I just
cast.
never wanted to be in that arena. It's
Yeah,
tougher for me. Maybe it's easier for others, but for me, it was just not what I wanted.
yeah.
So that's why I really take to inbound marketing, because my goal is to get our products and offers in front of people. So when they come in, they're in our audience, they know us, and by the time, if we were doing a sales call, we don't do any sales calls anymore.
Yeah.
But if we were doing sales calls, and when we were doing sales calls, we were doing inbound by providing value up front with content, making an offer to help them by filling out and to fill out an application to apply for a call, right? So that's the model that we've used a lot over the years. And when they do that, what happens is by the time they get on the call with you, you've given them value. They've watched content that you've provided. They understand your offer, and they've taken a step to get on a phone call with you. So it's a much warmer lead, right?
Yeah.
They already know, for the most part, this isn't 100% the case, but for the most part, they know why they're on the call with you. Now, there are people in Facebook, when you run ads, they'll watch a video, fill out a form, and you'll call them, book a call with you, and you jump on the phone call with them and like, why you call me? Who are you? Right? You're going to get some of
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
inevitable, right? Some
Yeah.
people just love to click and fill applications on it
Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, for the most part, inbound to me, I don't know what one's more profitable. I know inbound has been profitable for us, but we've never
Mhm.
done the outbound as a
Would you
company.
say it's less of a headache than outbound?
Yeah, I believe it is. That's why we
Yeah.
do it, right? That's why we've
Okay.
always done it over the years. So I just feel as if you're providing more value up front. That makes it makes the transaction easier down the road, as opposed to a lot of friction up front, right?
Yeah.
I hate being on the phone, right?
Yeah.
So for me, if I had to sit and dial all day long just to get a bunch of no's to get one yes that will even talk to me, I didn't want to do that. I was like, what can I do now to eliminate the outbound just to get a yes to talk
Yeah.
versus getting an outbound, a bunch of people inbound, a bunch of people that have said yes to talk. Now I just got to get a yes to buy, right?
Yeah.
That was really the only reason that I went inbound.
Yeah. So now, like, when you had your agency and you're working a lot with real estate investors, let's say like your top clients that were spending the most with you, maybe they're achieving the highest conversions, closing percentages. Have you noticed like a common denominator amongst them in their marketing? Are they investing heavily into inbound versus outbound, or have you noticed like something
No,
similar?
all the clients we worked with have all been running ads to create buyers and inbound clients, right?
Yeah.
Bringing people in. But they, the most successful ones, know exactly what they're paying per customer, and they're willing to pay more upfront.
To
So they
acquire the
don't
customer.
know, they know what they're paying per customer, but they also know what they're making in 30, 60, 90, 180 days, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes even farther, because it is true. The person willing to pay the most for a customer
Wins.
wins.
Yeah.
It's true. It's proven time and time again. We've helped companies grow with that exact same methodology, and we've helped companies take market share because of that methodology. The ones that struggle to really grow too fast don't know those numbers,
Yeah.
and they also aren't very detailed on kind of where the money's coming from. It's just a lot of like throwing stuff out and trying to get revenue back, right?
Yeah.
And so, and another thing that people have done really well over the years, or we try and recommend to people too, is a lot of times someone tries to go Facebook, GDN, Google Display Network, YouTube ads, native ads, and they try and do it all at once. And every one of those networks and traffic networks operate differently, right? And the way that you have to position your offer and everything
Yeah.
else is different.
Yeah.
So it's very tough to just roll out to all networks at once. One, you don't ever get really, really good at one. Now, if you're doing this is in reference if you decide to do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
And focus on one network, get that dialed in, and then expand. And then if you're gonna hire an agency, make if it's a small agency, chances are they are not great at all networks either. They're usually great at one.
Mm-hmm.
So hire it. Maybe you want to start with one agent, and not to mention too, a lot of people when they start buying ads, their budgets aren't big, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're buying ads with a small budget, you don't really want to space it out a bunch of networks because it's going to take you forever to get data and results to be able to make decisions,
It's
right?
gonna be possible to track everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you got the best tracking in place, like it just takes forever to get data, right? You have to
Yeah.
make one thing that people fail to do is they they make they make decisions based on drama, right? Not the data. And when you don't do that, when you do that, you may kill winners. You might have a winning ad campaign, but because you're not basing it on data, you're basing it on your drama and your own opinions based on what's happening. All of a sudden, yeah, I may be paying $80 a buyer for this product, and my other ones I'm paying 60. But I do know that if I looked at the data, I know 90 days that $80 buyer is turning into 250, but that $60 buyer is only turning into 90. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's understanding that so you can make the right decisions, and it takes you longer to get there if your budget's too spaced out. If you don't have a big budget.
Yeah. So let's say like economic downturns come like 2008 when you left the mortgage industry.
Mhm.
Just this is out of curiosity. When economic downturns come, when businesses go through tough seasons, advertising usually the first thing that gets cut. Marketing budgets, all that different type of stuff. Do you have an opinion into reasoning as to why it should or why it shouldn't be the first thing to be cut out?
I mean, I think one, it should never be cut out because without marketing, there are no clients, in my opinion. Right
Yeah.
now, you might want to tighten the ship up when things are good. People are spending money. You might be spending money in networks that and on campaigns that maybe aren't quite where they need to be. And what I see people do in a downturn is the pendulum swings way too far, right? It's like shut it all out, right? Shut it
Yeah.
off. You gotta, but that also what happens is that shuts off the revenue flow too,
Yeah. Yeah. So
and that's not good. So what you got to do is just get tighter on the data, get tighter on what the results are, and trim the fat because a lot of time when times are good, there's a lot of fat, right? And
yeah.
on campaigns, and you don't care about it because times are good.
Yeah.
And but I would also say at the same time too, but this is why when times are good, if you let's say you got a sales team, and if your sales team is so used to being high on the hog and doing really well with making sales are easy, always force them to also have a book of prospects, right? Like, hey, nurturing up and following up with your customers and clients in the past when times are good, what happens a lot of companies like it's just acquire, acquire, acquire. And once they
Yeah.
acquire, they don't really spend time on the back end kind of nurturing those buyers, right? Because they're just trying to acquire as many as possible. So
Yeah.
don't take that lightly. Make sure you nurture and create them into raving fans because when times are tough, they're the ones that are there. If they're raving fans, but if you treat them bad after they come in and you acquire them, then they're going to remember that when times are tough. So for me, I don't think you should ever turn the marketing off because if you do, if you're in an industry with me, a similar industry with me, I want you to turn your traffic off. I want you to
Yeah.
cut your marketing budget because I'm turning mine up
Yeah.
and we're going to go acquire more and more customers. Right. And so if you understand that your competitors are most likely knee jerking cutting marketing budgets in times of when times are tough. And if you can gut through it, trim the fat, gut through it, and
You're
keep
gonna
your
win.
marketing budget rolling, you're going to acquire more customers while everyone else is sitting there wondering, you know, why they're not making money.
Yeah. I
So,
like that. No, that's really good. Um, Hey, well, I appreciate you coming onto the podcast today. If you guys want to work with Nate, I will leave the link to his website down in the description below. Um, or if they want to figure, are you working with anyone right now or no?
so we are rolling out a new thing here where we will do 1 day consultations in my office
Yeah.
and then fly in. I'm in Lake Norman, North Carolina, where clients will be able to fly in. I'm not doing groups. It's all just me one-on-one hanging out for 1 day, really kind of diving into your marketing and helping you get the plan in place to go to the next step that you need to get to. And so helping kind of fix any leaky holes and be ready to grow. So it's we are doing that. You'll be able to when that is live and active, that'll be at our main site, marketingrebels.com. But the best way to connect with me, if people want to, Cody, is my handles on social media are Nate Kennedy, MD, marketing doctor. So Nate Kennedy, MD. And if you go there, Instagram, I usually post quite a bit on my stories, kind of hanging out over there and, see what's going on with my family and our trips and the stuff we're working on in business. So that'd be the best way.
Awesome, Nate. Appreciate you coming on to the podcast.
Cody, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for getting me on here.